The Wellness Hour. An in-depth discussion with today's top physicians and medical leaders. And now, your host, Randy Alvarez.
You are watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know if you're considering any type of permanent makeup. My first guest is an expert on the topic. She lectures nationally. She has a training center where she teaches others. She's here today to talk about what you need to know. Her name, Pamela Horton. Pam Horton,
hi,
welcome
nice
to the program. Now, before we get into today's topic, tell me a little bit about your facility. I guess you have two locations.
I do. I have a facility in Gardnerville, Nevada, which is about 20 minutes south of South Lake Tahoe. I've been there 12 years, and I actually live there, and that's where I carry my main practice.
You say you've done over 10,000 procedures. Is there a huge learning curve?
Huge.
When you're doing permanent makeup?
When I'm teaching, honestly, the first 3 years is total nerves, so you want to get through that phase. But the learning curve on permanent cosmetics, I tell people, is anywhere from 5 to 7 years.
So you brought some photos. What are we looking at?
I did. This is Diane.
Okay.
Diane is a full-face client that came into me, had some issues with her eyebrows. Her lips were a little thin, and she wanted a little bit more color put into them. And so I want you to look at the after photo. And if you notice, it just gives it a little bit more fullness, makes it a little more defined, pops up the color a little bit, kind of matches the natural hairstyle.
Looks very nice. Now, is this that brush technique?
This is the hair strokes.
So it looks like hair.
When you're far away, when you're at an arm's length, it just kind of looks very, very natural. But when you get up and you look at them very, very closely, there are little hair strokes that are actually placed in.
Now, brows.
I do several different colors.
Now,
correct.
brows, by the way, and we talk long on the phone, you say, I mean, brows have to be done just right. Elaborate on that.
90% of the people, actually, okay, 80% of the people that I know, that I see out there, do not shape their brows properly.
Okay.
So they put them in the wrong placement. You've got to go with the shape of your face, the hairstyle, the way that you have your muscle structure in your forehead. And that's what I look at in order to place the brows. So if you go in and you place them and they're not properly placed, they're not.
You think sometimes they go too high?
Absolutely.
I mean, I see women, high eyebrows.
The biggest problem is the arch.
Okay.
People always believe that the arch should start a little sooner than it does. It's actually supposed to be back out, so that when you raise your forehead and you're raising, your eyebrow needs to be in the proper placement so that it gives you that little sexy lift.
Okay.
So if you notice her brows, they're not in the, they're not high on her forehead. They're in her natural shape of her brow. So we don't go too high. You want to actually make them in the natural shape of where the hair is growing out. Now, when you get older and you get into your 30s, your forehead starts to drop.
Okay.
And then if you're going to get some kind of surgery, get a brow lift or anything like that, but what you want to do is you want to actually keep them in the proper placement. So she's not 18, she's a 50-year-old woman, and we try to keep it so that it looks very, very natural, realistic, and not too high.
And men are coming in for this as well. You said that I have a problem with my brows.
The outside of the brow, the lateral edge over here, are starting to thin out a little bit, and I could notice a couple of bare spots in there.
Okay. So
you could actually.
So guys would come in with this situation.
Yeah.
You would just fill this in. It seems like it'd be very noticeable, though.
Not if you do it right. Not if you do it right. You can.
Nobody,
get it right.
none of my friends would know.
No, they would not know.
But if they found out, then I'm in big trouble.
Right. I do a lot of women. The husbands don't know.
Really?
Which is kind of you want them to pay a little more attention to you than that. But a lot of women do come in and have it done, and it's not noticed, and so you want it to look natural.
So you have another photo.
This is Irma. Irma's in her 70s.
Okay.
And she came in, and as women get older, of course, the skin starts to thin out, and definition is almost at a loss. Totally.
Okay.
So if you look at the after picture, this is just giving her life.
Full facial. Well, exactly what you do here.
The same. Eyebrows, eyeliner, and lips, and full lip color. But what it's done for Irma is it's actually given her eyebrows. I mean, if you look at her, she honestly has no eyebrows. There's no definition to her face. Right.
Now, look, so these are brush strokes. So, I mean, it does look natural. So when it's all done, what does she say, a woman like this?
Thank you. I mean, honestly, that is the one phrase that I get from most people is just thank you so much. I love my permanent cosmetics. I mean, look at the difference between her before and after picture. This is a woman. She has grandchildren. She's running around. She's running errands for the family, doing things. She's on the go all the time. Even though she's retired, she still has a life. So it just makes it easier for her to wake up, builds her self-confidence.
Okay, so we have a time for that. We're going to meet one of your guests.
Hair stroke eyebrows. And this is what I was talking to you about as far as women that are losing their eyebrows. This is a young client, and actually she's lost part of her hair, and she only has the very beginning of it. So what I do is a two-stroke hair stroke process. So there are two several.
From a distance, we're obviously very close. From a distance, this looks very natural.
Yes, and it's going to look more hairy. And as time goes on and the pigment starts to expand a little bit and it wicks out a little bit, it kind of looks a little more natural, gets a little bit softer.
Now, by the way, when women come in for their brows, what are their frequently asked questions? I mean, what are their fears? What do they say to you? It must be the same thing every time.
Number one, does it hurt?
Okay.
Is it going to be too dark? Which it always is. When you first come in and people come in, I tell them you're going to walk out of here looking like Tammy Faye. It's going to be dark,
Okay.
dark, dark. You're going
All
to
right.
fade into Grace Kelly.
How soon
And
does
that's
that
it is.
happen?
It's about a 3-day process. You
Oh,
have,
that's it, 3 days.
Yeah, for the crust to fall off and to kind of relax.
So this brow, this is an older woman.
This is an older woman. She didn't have any brow hair, and it has actually gotten lighter in time.
Nothing
So-
really on the before.
No, not before. So we actually went in, did a couple of hairs in there. She loved it. She was very, very happy, making
Yeah.
it look a little more live.
Well, it
makes
really
her
frames a face. I mean, there's no doubt about it.
Yes, yes.
But you know what
Eyebrows
I
in
like
front of
about
the
this,
face.
and I'll tell you something, and I'm trying not to compliment you. People need to know these are real interviews. You know, we're not, this is not rehearsed between us. But this brow is not up high.
No.
And I don't
very
want to tell
natural.
women what they should do, but when I see brows that are way high, I think it makes you look older with these high, phony brows.
Yeah, it's
Is that your feeling too?
it just looks fake.
Okay.
And that's
Good
it.
point.
And
Okay.
you know, you just want to look natural. So what you
Like
do
an
is
18-year-old. They don't have high brows.
correct. But as time goes on and your brow starts to fall and it starts to fall into the eye tissue, as everything starts to fall down, people still feel as though their brows have fallen. They know they've fallen, so they try to put them up higher to compensate for that.
All right.
But it's not going to look natural, so you want to put them in the same spot.
Okay, here's a guy. What about this guy?
This gentleman came in, absolutely no hair, and it was very, very thin. And so what we did is we actually gave him a full eyebrow enhancement.
That is hard to believe. You know, when I look at this, it's not touched up at all, right?
No. Oh, no.
Okay. And that's just drawn in.
Yeah.
Huge difference. I'm surprised
Tattooed
you guys
in.
come in for this. Very
Tattooed
nice.
in.
So I need this, you're saying.
For your tails.
And
Your
then I'd
tails,
be
you're gonna-
happier,
you're
you
gonna
think?
start
More
losing them.
successful? If I get this done, what happens?
If it bothers you, then it would be okay to get it down. This gentleman, it was something that he noticed. He noticed that when he was taking photographs, he can't even see his eyebrows. He looks funny because he doesn't have eyebrows. That's what his complaint was to me.
I
So
guess
when-
this is very common. I mean, I don't notice it.
But as you start to lose them, as you get older, you will lose those tails, and you can see them thinning now.
Tails
And
the outside, okay.
The outside, the lateral section of your brows are starting to fade out a little bit, and you're starting to lose hair. As we get older, it is going to fall out and it's going to diminish. So what you want to do is you try to illusionally match it so that it all blends together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we're going to meet one of your patients.
Okay.
Jackie. Tell me about Jackie.
Jackie is an RN. She's local RN out of Reno, Gardnerville. I've done a full face on Jackie and some scar camouflage on her also.
Okay, we're going to meet Jackie right now. You're watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. Up next, you're going to meet one of Pam Horton's clients that had full face permanent makeup. We'll be right back.
Designs for Health is the nutritional supplement brand of choice, exclusively recommended by healthcare professionals.
As a physician, I insist on the science-first approach of Designs for Health. They have synergistic formulations with optimum quantities of therapeutic nutrients.
Designs for Health, the leader in professional brand nutritional supplements.
You're watching The Wellness Hour, leader in medical news and information. I'm Randy Alvarez. Today's topic, what you need to know about permanent makeup. With us, we have an expert on the topic, Pam Horton, and one of her clients, Jackie. Jackie, welcome to the program. Thanks for sharing your story.
Glad to be here.
And well, first off, tell me a little bit about Jackie.
Jackie is Collie.
She had a full face permanent
full
makeup.
face, full
Okay.
face, and client and friend and colleague.
Okay.
And her husband actually came to me wanting to buy her a surprise
Surprise.
and a gift certificate. He came in and wanted to buy her a full face of permanent cosmetics, eyebrows, eyeliner, and lips. And probably 8 years ago,
About.
that
about
right?
8 years ago. So what we did for Jackie is we did eyebrows, eyeliner, and full lips. We did
Okay.
a little scar camouflage on her face.
Now, would you? Okay, so your brows. Why did
Yes.
you get the brows? Why did you get the eyeliner and
Well,
the lips? Why not
I-
just put on makeup? Actually,
I'm an outdoor girl. I didn't want to have to mess with makeup. And if I don't color my eyebrows in with pencil, you can hardly see them. So this allows me to go out and do what I like to do, but I don't look washed out.
interesting.
So I still look, I don't,
Didn't even think of that. So out of the water already. There you go. She looks fantastic.